Juba's High Score Challenge, recording on a Sunday night. Recording a bit later than usual. Went out last night, quite a long night. I had a really good time. I had a gig and stuff, had a few drinks and things, and been feeling pretty rough today, so it's been a case of catching up on some sleep and taking it very, very easy. And I've also been stuffing my face full of pizza as well, so it's not been a particularly productive day. But I have this run recorded from the other day. It was on Friday. I think I managed to chalk this one up. I was thinking I might have a chance to have another quick go today, but no, it's just not happened. So this is my run here. So the game, it's a Battle Garegga. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a game that I've heard about before, and understand it's a very well regarded game, and it's by Raizing or Raizing, who do a lot of other very, very good shooters as well, including Dynamahoo, which is one of my favourite. So I went into this one with high expectations, and my first impressions were I was somewhat disappointed, to be honest. The main reason for that is just how difficult the bullets seem to be, and there were quite a few instances of getting shot apparently from out of nowhere as well, like I dare say almost invisible bullets at times. You've also got like various sort of debris and things which fly off the ships you blow up, so it's kind of like so some of those bullets are extremely hard to see with everything going on. And I say that as someone who it's not something I usually complain about, even on some games where it's kind of like there's a lot going on, it can be quite difficult. It's I usually just suck it up and tough it out, but the visibility on the bullets on this one was getting to me a bit at first, anyway. Because with a bit more practice, it did seem to get a bit easier in that respect. That I wasn't getting sucker punched by these almost invisible bullets. So, but that was one of the reasons why I wasn't keen at first. Now, the second reason why I wasn't keen at first was that it's got a funny ranking system, this. I know Raizing games do have ranking systems, or at least a fair few of them do, but it was... might just be me deceiving myself here, but it just seems to be more pronounced than this. There's a lot going on behind the scenes in terms of what affects your rank, what you pick up, how many power-ups you've got and stuff. So you kind of having this separate battle in a way, really, of trying not to pick up certain power-ups. And I was reading as well, like you can change your rate of fire, which affects the ranking as well, and how quickly it goes up. And it's kind of like, I'm not really sure if I'm firing faster than I should be or not. I mean, you just hold down the button, but apparently if you depending on the timing of how you press it, it can affect the rate. But I never quite got to grips with that. So there's all these things happening which I didn't really, I couldn't really see. I didn't really understand. They were complicating the game somewhat, and it's like, yeah, like the game surely wasn't designed, like this to have all these features that no one can really be expected to know about. But it's part of the challenge in its own right, and as you do kind of like get used to the game, it's kind of like it's part and parcel of the challenge, really. So after a while, I did start coming around to actually, this is a good game, and despite all the complexities and bits and bobs and stuff, I was having a good time, which is the most important thing. I was sort of getting better at my runs, and I was getting my medal chains up, as I've been doing here, and it just started to click a bit really, and it's kind of like when I was on a good run, you start getting in the zone, and it's kind of like, this is good. So the more I was playing it, the more I was enjoying it. I understand there's an enhanced version which came out in 2016. It's released on the PS4, and from what I've seen, it's got like a display where you can sort of see how your ranking is going up as you're going through the game, so you can sort of see what you're shooting and what you're collecting, how that affects that, and I think that'd be really useful. I'd really like to play it like with that. As it is with the original arcade version here, it's kind of like you're left in the dark a bit. You kind of like you're kind of guessing to an extent as to how much the rank has gone up by, just like based on how quickly the power-ups and stuff come flying down the screen, and the enemy bullet patterns as well. And I mean, I was by now I've already started to enjoy the game, but it's just a bit bonkers really. Like there are some bits like you almost like losing a life on purpose, and I was watching a guide online just on like YouTube, and it was like people deliberately losing lives at certain points. I was thinking it's just counterintuitive, and it's just kind of like it's not how you would it doesn't seem to be a good way to play a game, but again, it's kind of like I sort of come back to this point. It's almost a part of the challenge in its own right, sort of just juggling this ranking system or manipulating it, and sort of, trying to get the most out of the game that way. Anyway, so I've been rabbiting on about all that without talking too much about the actual game itself. I picked a ship here called the Iron Mackerel, which is a really cool name for a plane. I really did like that name. You get different options for each fighter you select depending on what button you press. I think this Iron Mackerel one is like a slightly faster version of the Wild Snail. I think it is. And I just needed that extra bit of speed, just to sort of catch those medals, because I was finding I was missing. So I've got quite a few. That might have just been lack of practice and stuff, but yeah, this ship had this extra little bit of manoeuvrability, which I found very useful. I'm not sure if its firepower might be slightly weaker or something, but yeah, it was doing the trick. So I kind of quickly settled on the ship, and it's kind of like I'm just going to stick with this one now. I did practice it a bit. I was trying to sort of practice it most days, because that's kind of how you get the love to start sink in a way. But I didn't have a huge amount of time outside. Outside my run, so it's kind of like I'm not gonna spend too long trying out the different planes and stuff. And this one was working. Let's try and do as good a run as possible with this one. So I'm doing surprisingly well here with the middle chain. I've managed to keep it going all this way. So you get series points for those top medals. Pin down a bit there, so that's squashed against the side of the screen. Might have been able to do better to avoid that. I'm kind of like getting into the realms of like not really got this far before on my previous run. So I mean I had a couple of times, but it's kind of like I knew it was a good score. It's just like based on how long I'd kept the medals going. So it's kind of like it's kind of like this is going to be the one I was trying to sort of like try to max this run out as much as possible. As you would with any run, of course, but it was kind of like I just had the sense like this could be the run I post. So phase 2 of the boss here. Attack pattern's not too bad here. Some rotating streams of bullets there, but big enough gaps to sort of slide between. It's firing off some other bullets as well, which potentially tricky. There's a bit of weaving there, but between them all. I start getting pinned along the side here, which is kind of not great, and I just don't get it right with pulling back quick enough for that bullet. But that was my score. So, yeah, very pleased. I did want 3.5 million, but hey ho, never mind. I probably wasn't too far away from defeating the boss there either. But yeah, a game I'd like to return to someday. Maybe even complete if I have time. But that's plenty for this challenge for me for now. So that's my score, and bye for now.